gentlemen, as the outgoing master of King David's Lodge, number 209, it's my honor to welcome you here today. And it is traditional that the outgoing master makes extremely brief remarks of welcome, because the year has basically been a testament to how well or badly that year went. I think it went well, but we don't have to belabor the point. You're going to enjoy these ceremonies here today. We have a great installing team and a great line of officers coming up behind. So please enjoy what you're about to witness at the Freemasons in San Luis Obispo County. Thank you.
Well, Robert went running off before I could congratulate him on yet another successful year leading our fine lodge. So if you're hearing me, worshipful Robert, thank you. I think you finally got it right this time, and you don't have to repeat his master. Brother Master of Ceremonies, are the officers of this lodge lately chosen present and ready to be installed in their respective offices?
They are without, most worshipful sir, and await your pleasure.
You will then conduct them to the seats prepared for them.
Honor guard, attention! Fall in. Honor guard, form lines. Honor guard, present swords.
In accordance with the teachings of our institution, it is our duty before entering upon any great or important undertaking to invoke the aid and blessing of God. Let us therefore reverently unite with our chaplain in an address to the throne of grace.
Great architect of the universe, we reverently invoke thy blessing at this time. Grant us thine aid in our present undertaking, that we may all do, shall be done with an eye single to thy service and to the good of Freemasonry. May those who are about to be invested with the government and conduct of this lodge be endued with wisdom to instruct their brethren in their duties, and may they be continually guided by the unerring counsel which thou hast given in the great book of nature and revelation. May brotherly love, relief, and truth always prevail among the members of this lodge. May they be impressed with a comprehension of their duty to thee and to each other, that this lodge may be the means of lasting good in this community, and to thee we shall ascribe all the honor and glory. Amen.
So be. The flag of our country will now be presented by King Solomon, chapter of the Order of Demolay.
present swords.
Please repeat with me the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You will escort the flag to its proper place in the east.
Honor guard and carry sword. Fall out.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Most worshipful sir, the officers of this lodge lately chosen are present and ready to be installed in their respective offices.
You will then present the brother who has been appointed Tyler of this lodge.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Brother DiMartini, who has been appointed Tyler of this lodge.
Brother DiMartini, you have been appointed Tyler of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel and implement of your office. As the sword is placed in the hand of the Tyler to enable him effectually to guard against the approach of cowans and eavesdroppers, and suffer none to pass or repass, except those who are duly qualified, so should it admonish us to set a guard over our thoughts, a watch at our lips, and post a sentinel over our actions, thereby preventing the approach of every unworthy thought and deed, and preserving consciences void of offense toward God and man. You will now take your proper place. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you'll present the senior steward.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Worshipful Fisher, who has been appointed senior steward.
Worshipful Brother Fisher, you have been appointed senior steward of this lodge, and I will now instruct you in the duties of your office. In olden times, your province was to superintend and provide for the festivals of the craft, to assist in the collection of dues and subscriptions, to keep an account of the expenses for refreshments, and to see that the tables were properly supplied and every brother suitably provided for. In modern times, however, the provision for actual refreshment has diminished, and your principal function will now be to prepare candidates for admission and to perform those duties which Masonic custom has assigned to you on days of procession. Receive the jewel of your office together with the white rod. You will now repair to your proper place. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will present the marshal.
That's me.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Worshipful Betancourt, who has been appointed Tyler of this lodge, Marshal of this lodge.
Apparently, we really didn't not there. Worshipful Brother Betancourt, you have been appointed marshal of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel and symbol of your office. The baton is an emblem of command and is sufficiently significant of your duties. You will, under the direction of the Master, take charge of all processions of the lodge, and you are enjoined that the proper performance of many of our ceremonies will depend upon the manner in which your duties are discharged. You will now take your proper place. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you'll present the junior deacon.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Brother Allen, who has been appointed Junior Deacon of this lodge.
Brother Allen, you've been appointed junior deacon of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel of your office. That That jewel indicates that it is your province to attend upon the master and wardens and act as their proxies in the active duties of this lodge. It will be your special duty, Brother Junior Deacon, to carry messages from the senior warden in the west to the junior in the south and elsewhere about the lodge as directed. Attend to all alarms at the door and see the lodge duly tiled. That rod, my brother, distinctive of your office, will now be placed under your care. And now, believing from your past deportment in the lodge that your duties will be discharged with fidelity and zeal, I dismiss you to your proper place. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will present the Assistant Secretary.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Brother Bland, who has been appointed Assistant Secretary of this lodge.
Brother Bland, you have been appointed Assistant Secretary of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel of your office. My brother, that single quill pen signifies that it is your duty to assist the lodge secretary in the discharge of the important duties of his office, and in his absence or inability to see these duties faithfully executed. You will now take your proper place. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will present the chaplain.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Worshipful Clark, who has been appointed Chaplain of this lodge.
Worshipful brother, that holy book which adorns our sacred altar is the great light in masonry, and forever sheds its benignant rays upon every lawful assemblage of free and accepted masons. Teach us from its life-giving precepts. Invoke upon our labors the blessing of that divine being whose infinite goodness it so fully reveals and unfolds to us. And guide us by its lessons of wisdom and truth, and you will have faithfully discharged your important trust. It is your duty to perform those solemn services which we should constantly render to our great Creator, and reverently to allure to brighter worlds and lead the way. And thus, by elevating our thoughts strengthening our virtues, and purifying our minds, prepare us for admission into the society of the blessed in the realms of life and light eternal. It is fitting that an emblem of the sacred volume should be the jewel of your office, and with it you will now be invested. You will now take your proper place. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will present the Secretary-elect.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Worshipful McCoy, who has been elected Secretary of this lodge.
Worshipful Brother McCoy, you've been elected Secretary of this lodge, and you will now be invested with the jewel of your office. I am persuaded that in your hands, the pens will make an enduring record, not only to your praise, but also to the welfare of this lodge. It is your duty to observe the will and pleasure of the worshipful Master, keep a faithful record of all things properly written, transmit a copy of the same to the Grand Lodge when required, receive all monies from the brethren, and pay the same to the treasurer, taking his receipt therefore. You will now take your proper place. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will present the Treasurer-elect.
Most worshipful sir, I present to you for installation Brother Rizzo, who has been elected Treasurer of this lodge.
Brother Rizzo, you have been elected Treasurer of this lodge, and you will now receive the jewel of your office. The keys have a twofold significance. They are instruments to bind as well as to make loose, to make fast as well as to open. They will never, I am confident, be used by you in any other manner than that which the constitutions, laws, and regulations of the lodge shall direct. You are to receive all money from the Secretary, keep a just and accurate account thereof, and pay the same out by order of the Worshipful Master with the consent of the lodge. You will now take your proper place. gentlemen, this concludes the ceremonies of... Not so fast, huh? Brother Master of Ceremonies, you'll present the brother who has been elected to discharge the important duties of Master of this lodge.
Most worshipful sir, I take pleasure in presenting to you Brother Cummings, who has been duly elected to serve as master of this lodge.
Is it known that Brother Cummins is well skilled in our ancient craft? Is he zealous in the regard for the interests of our order? And is he duly qualified to discharge the special duties of the Master's chair?
It is well known that he is all this, most worshipful sir. This certificate vouching for his proficiency is evidence that he is well skilled in our ancient craft. I find him to be of good morals, true and trusty, and as he is a lover of fraternity, I doubt not that he will discharge his duties with fidelity and with honor.
Will the treasurer, could I ask you to audit that for me? Worshipful sir, the brethren of this lodge, reposing confidence in your integrity, in your zealous regard for the interests of Masonry, and in your ability to discharge the special duties of the Master's chair, have chosen you to occupy that honorable position during the ensuing year. Are you willing to accept this important trust?
Most worshipful sir, I am.
Then, my brother, I shall most cheerfully proceed to install you in the dignified and honorable position to which the suffrage of your brethren has called you, not doubting that the dignity of the Oriental chair will be well preserved in your keeping, and that the interest and welfare of this lodge may be safely confided to your charge. Before commencing your investiture, however, it is necessary that you should signify your assent to those ancient charges and regulations which point out the duties of the master of the lodge, and on which on no occasion should be ever neglected or departed from. They are as follows. You agree to be a good man and true, and strictly to obey the moral law. You agree to be a peaceable citizen, and to cheerfully conform to the laws of the country in which you reside. You promise not to be concerned in any plot or conspiracy against the government, but patiently to submit to the decisions of the Supreme Legislature. You agree to pay proper respect to the civil magistrate, to work diligently, live creditably, and act honorably toward all men. You agree to hold in veneration the original rulers and patrons of the Order of Masonry and their regular successors, supreme and subordinate, according to their station, and to submit to the awards and ceremonies of your brethren, when convenient, in every instance convenient with the constitutions of the Order. You agree to avoid private piques and quarrels, and to guard against intemperance and excess. You agree to be cautious in character and behavior, courteous to your brethren, and faithful to your lodge. You promise to respect genuine brethren, and to discountenance impostors and all dissenters from the original plan of Masonry. You agree to promote the general good of society, to cultivate the social virtues, and to propagate the knowledge of the art. You promise to pay homage to the Grand Master for the time being, and to his officers when duly installed, and strictly to conform to every edict of the Grand Lodge or General Assembly of Masons that are not subversive to the principles and groundwork of Masonry. You admit that it is not in the power of any man or any body of men to make innovations in the body of masonry. You promise a regular attendance to the committees and communications of the Grand Lodge on receiving proper notice, and to pay attention to all the duties of masonry on convenient occasions. You admit that no new lodge should be formed without permission of the Grand Lodge, and that no countenance should be given to any irregular lodge or any person clandestinely initiated therein, being contrary to the ancient charges of the order. You admit that no person can be regularly made a Mason in or admitted a member of any regular lodge without providing due notice and proper inquiry into his character. You agree that no visitors shall be received into your lodge without due examination and producing proper vouchers of having been initiated in a regular lodge. These are among the ancient charges and regulations of free and accepted Masons. And to these your assent must be freely given. Do you submit to these charges and promise to support these regulations, as masters have done in all ages before you?
Most worshipful sir, I do.
Then, my brother, in consequence of this assurance, and with full confidence in your capacity and zeal, I will now install you Master of King David's Lodge, number 209. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will present him with the jewel of his station. The square, my brother, is an emblem of morality, and as it is the especial badge of the Master's office, it should continually remind you that not only by precept, but by example, you should promote good morals among the brethren, and thus endeavor to avert the shadow of any scandal or reproach against the fraternity. Your former life has given evidence that this jewel will not be an unmeaning symbol in your hands. And I solemnly charge that you make good care that its luster not be diminished by any act of yours. I now present to you the Book of Holy Writings. It is the great light in Masonry, and should ever be the great law of the brotherhood. It will guide you to all truth. It will direct you to eternal happiness, and an attentive regard to the divine precepts it contains will ensure you success in the fulfillment of the duties you are now about to assume. The working tools of the craft will next be presented to you, that as the master workman, you may instruct the craftsmen in the various duties and virtues which they have been selected to illustrate. The square teaches us well to regulate our every actions and to let the conduct be governed by the principles of morality and virtue. The compass teaches us to limit our desires in every station and to never suffer our passions or our prejudices to become the masters of our judgment. The rule directs the undeviating discharge of all our duties, that we should press forward in the straight path of right and truth, without inclining to the one hand or the other, in all our doings having eternity in view. The plum is an emblem of moral rectitude. It teaches us to avoid all dissimulation and to pursue that honest and upright course in life, which will tend to our elevation to the higher realms of immortality. There are still other important things which you will receive in charge. This book of constitutions you are expected diligently to search, and from time to time to cause its contents to be read in your lodge, that none may remain ignorant of the precepts it enjoins, or of the ordinances which it promulgates. This book contains the bylaws of your lodge, which it will be your special duty to see carefully and punctually execute. And this is the charter, under the authority of which your lodge is held, in which you are carefully to preserve and duly transmit to your successor in the master's chair. Brother Master of Ceremonies, you will conduct the master to his station in the east. Worshipful Master, I congratulate you on your ascension to this time-honored seat. The duties incumbent upon you in your exalted station are fraught with grave responsibilities. Remember that the honor, reputation, and usefulness of your lodge will materially depend upon the skill and assiduity with which you manage its affairs, and that the happiness of the members will be generally promoted in proportion to the watchful care with which you cherish the genuine principles of our institution. For a pattern of imitation, consider the great luminary of nature, which rising in the east and regularly diffusing light and luster to all within its circle. In like manner, it is your province to spread and communicate light and instruction to the brethren of your lodge. Forcibly impress upon them the dignity and high importance of masonry, and seriously admonish them never to disgrace it. Charge them to practice out of the lodge those duties which they have been taught in it, and by amiable, discreet, and virtuous conduct, to convince mankind of the goodness of this institution, so that when a person is said to be a member of it, the world may know that he is one to whom the burdened heart may pour out its sorrow, one to whom distress may prefer its suit, one whose hand is guided by justice and whose heart is expanded by benevolence. In short, by a diligent observance of the bylaws of your lodge, the constitutions of masonry, and above all, the Holy Scriptures, which are given to you as the rule and guide of your faith, you will be enabled to equip yourself with the highest honors here and lay up the crown of rejoicing, which shall continue when time shall be no more. This is for the brethren of King David's Lodge. Please rise. My brethren, such is the nature of our Constitution, that as some must of necessity rule and teach, so must others, of course, learn to submit and obey. Humility in both is an essential duty. The officers who have been chosen to govern your lodge are sufficiently conversant with the rules of propriety and the laws of the institution to avoid exceeding the power with which they have been entrusted. And you are of too generous disposition to envy their preferment. I therefore trust that you will have but one aim, to please one another and to unite in the grand design of promoting happiness. Finally, my brethren, as this association has been formed and perfected in so much unanimity and accord, so may it long continue. May you long enjoy every satisfaction and delight which friendship can afford. May kindness and brotherly affection distinguish your conduct as men and as Masons. Within your peaceful walls, may your children's children celebrate with joy and gratitude the annual occurrence of this auspicious solemnity. And may our tenets of our profession be transmitted through this lodge, pure and unimpaired, from generation to generation. You may be seated. Merciful Master, it now remains for me to present to you the gavel, the emblem of power. In the hands of the Master, it may be made an instrument of great good or of greater evil. With it, the Master governs his lodge, and the welfare and prosperity of your lodge in great measure will depend upon its judicious use. In your hands, I am confident that it will be wielded for the best interests of your brothers. Brother Master of Ceremonies, oops, you will make proclamation.
By order of the Most Worshipful Grand Lodge of Free and Accepted Masons of the State of California, I now proclaim the officers of King David's Lodge number 209 to be duly installed.
All the brethren will, under the direction of our Master of Ceremonies, salute the Worshipful Master with the battery of 3 times 3.
Together, brethren.
Worshipful Master, behold your brethren. Brethren, behold your Worshipful Master.
I'm sure exactly what I mean by this comment, but this is a surprisingly moving moment. I'm grateful to all of you. I have a number of introductions I'd like to make. Unfortunately, our inspector told me a little bit earlier that even though there's a formal order for things, that being master, I don't necessarily have to follow it. So if you're looking for a precise order of events or introductions, you might be, unfortunately, doomed to just... But I'm very honored to be here. And I'm going to introduce, some people are going to get introduced more than once. I'm going to introduce a few people and ask a number of other people just to please stand and introduce themselves when we get to that. I'd like to, first of all, thank our installing team, our installing officer, Most Worshipful Russ Charbonia, who is a past Grand Master of Masons in the state of California, 2017? 2014. He's also a past master of Ventura Lodge, and a member of our lodge we are all very proud to say. So, Most Worshipful Sir, tremendous honor to have you preside. Our Master of Ceremonies, Worshipful Christian Marano. There are many, many things to say about Most Worshipful Christian.
Oh, promotion.
Not yet.
Yes.
There I go again. Sorry, Worshipful Christian Marano. Yeah, get soak it all in. Worshipful Christian Marano addition to being the chapter advisor of the Order of Dean White, he is a past just about everything. And I mean that Masonically, just about, literally. Worshipful Brother Morano is a past master of our lodge. He was inspector of District 534 for about 15 minutes. He is currently the Assistant Grand Lecturer of Division 5 of Masons, the state of California. And he's been a tremendous influence in my life and my Masonic journey. And I'm very, very grateful to him for all he's done for this lodge, for Masonry, for Dean White. So, Worshipful Brother Morano, thank you, sir. Our installing chaplain, Worshipful Brother Dave Chestro, is a multiple past master of our lodge. He has he's again a past master of many, a past leader of many things of the Dorbright bodies, and he's a very wonderful and sincere man. I'm proud to call him a leader in this lodge, and my friend, Worshipful Brother Dave Chestro. So this is where maybe I deviate just a little bit from the official order. I'm going to try to get everybody, and I will if I remember. I will if I forget you and you're important when we get to the end of the ceremony. I'll invite you to just interrupt, and then say hello, and tell us who you are. And seriously, I'll try not to forget anybody, but if I do and you are not so direct, just introduce yourself. Understand that we're all grateful that you're here. I would like to introduce to you past inspector Christian Morano. I'd like to introduce another past inspector of District 534, and also a currently at-large inspector of District 534, Worshipful Rod Smile. Very, very grateful that he is a member of our lodge as well. And current master of Cypress Mountain Lodge in Paso Robles. As of last week, that's why I forgot. I would have remembered 2 weeks ago I would have had. I would like the past masters of King David's Lodge to please stand. Worshipful Bob Sachs, past master of King David's Lodge.
2018.
Thank you, Worship, for being here, and thank you for all your help and your guidance and leadership as we move forward. Thank you. Our current inspector of the 534th Masonic District and a past master of King David's Lodge, Worshipful Brother Clint Parker. Worshipful, thank you. Worshipful Brother Eric Fisher, past master.
2017.
2017. Thank you, Worshipful. Worshipful Robert Bencourt, past master about 16 times.
2010, 2012, 2016, and 5 minutes.
Worshipful, thanks for all you've done for me. We'll have a little chat with him about it a little bit later. Worshipful Patrick McCoy, past master of King David's Lodge, 2023. And past master of Alhambra Lodge.
2011.
Some guys just can't get enough, you know? Thank you, Worship. Hey, Chesbro, sir, would you bring us up to date on your various past masterships statewide?
I can remember them, yes.
I think we can.
Well, we'll start off 1995, 2003, 2004, 2006.
Thank you, Worship. Much appreciated. Worshipful Dean Clark, past master of King David's Lodge, back in the COVID days, right? Deep in the heart of COVID.
Yeah.
He kept us going. So thanks to all the worshipful brothers from King David's Lodge. We have several worshipful brothers from Cypress Mountain Lodge. Pastor Robles, if you'd please stand, and so I don't mess up the name somehow or other, would you be so kind as to introduce yourselves?
Dan Bolton, past master, Tascadero Lodge 3 times, and a member of Cypress Mountain.
Thank you, worshipful.
Larry Olson, past master of Tascadero Lodge 2 times, and now we are Cypress Mountain.
Worshipful.
Dennis Williams, past master of Tascadero 1 time, and a current member of Cypress Mountain.
Worshipables, thank you all so much. While I'm moving around the room, let me introduce you to Mom Morano from our family. She's an advisor of DMLA and a marvelous component of our Masonic family. Mara, thank you for being here, and thank you for all you've done for yours and for the lodge. Thank you. So, let's see. Going this way, I just wanted just to shout out for Brother Michael Luth, who was he was secretary up until about 15 minutes or so ago. And he has worked right up until, he always takes care of every detail. He's taken care of many details. And he's just one of my favorite people in his lodge. So, Brother Michael, thank you for your service. If I could ask you, Brother Luke, to do one more thing, one final item. Where's Brother Jesper going to take care of us? Yes, sir. I'd like to have let me say this. In 1972, which was a couple of years ago, I was very privileged to serve as Master Counselor of San Luis Chapter Order of Redeemed Way. And that was a wonderful experience for me. Redeemed Way was one of the best things that ever happened to me. San Luis Chapter, I don't know how many years ago, 15, 20 years ago, something like that, went away. But thanks to Dad Morano, thanks to his son, thanks to Mara, and thanks to the wonderful guys that we have over there, in San Luis Obispo, we have now literally the premier chapter in DMLA in Southern California, King Solomon's Chapel chapter. I'd like you all to stand, please. And I would invite the Master Counselor of King Solomon's Chapter to please introduce yourself and say hello.
Brother Andrew Lee, Master Counselor of the King Solomon's Chapter.
Thank you, Brother Andrew, and congratulations, and thank you to all of you for the distinguished work you did this afternoon, and all the work you're doing. We thank you for who you are, and for what you are, and for what we know you'll always be. And congratulations to you, and thank you again. we have any, I know we have at least one Hiram Award winner. Since he's the Hiram Award winner, we have more. If you're going to hire an award winner, if you please stand and introduce yourself. Well, we just gave Worshipful Dean Clark a bunch of flowers to celebrate his award, and that was Hiram Award winner last year, 2024. Okay. And Brother George Brown, what year, sir?
Sometime a couple years ago.
You know, I had a beard that looked like George's one time, and I even took some pictures of it one time, and I came back and I said, he didn't like he wasn't really impressed, and so I showed him a picture, and he thought, no, that's all right, it's all right. I was in his league, but, you know, we work on that. And Worshipful Robert Betancourt, Hiram Award winner, what year, sir?
2017.
Thanks to all, and Worshipful Rod Smiley.
2007, Pastor Rubble's Lodge.
And Worshipful Dennis.
2024, Cypress Mountain.
Thank you all. You guys hide behind the pillars because they're so humble. Worshipful Dave Chesbrough.
2008.
And
I have no idea what year.
most worshipful West Shore also Hiram. So I think, you'll remember, he remembers everything. Worship, some things I'd like him to forget, but he remembers that. Worshipful Christian Morano.
2021.
Thank you, worshipful. Thank you all. Golden Veteran Diamond Jubilee winners here. Actually, I know somebody will actually be that in a year and a half, if you can imagine that. I don't know if it's his name. Huh? Oh. George Ross. Oh, George, I'm sorry, Brother George. George Ross, distinguished member of King David's Lodge. More than 50 years, a Mason. Brother Ross. Very active in commandery and other Masonic activities. Wonderful to have you here, sir. Thank you. Do we have any Masonic leaders of concordant bodies here? Worshipful Bob Sachs.
Middle Master of the Valley of Santa Barbara in Scottish Rite.
Thank you again, Worshipful. Worshipful Dean Clark.
I'm getting tired of this. Picture of San Jose, number 95, order the Eastern Star.
Yeah, the crown delay heavy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Worshipful Pat.
High priest this year in Royal Archmasons, your friend.
Worshipful, thank you.
Oh, eminent commander too, commander number 27.
Might as well just
It's
talk.
just so recent.
It's hard to remember all this stuff, you know? Thank you. I told you, anybody else who's really important who would like to just say hello? Or, well, we can chat in the next room afterwards. I know there are probably a bunch of you here. I want to say a word about Masonry that many of you perhaps have never heard, some of you perhaps have never heard, but it's just something that I feel is important to share. If you go into that conference room that's on the other side of it, it's out there, you will see on the wall a number of pictures of very distinguished Masonic leaders from many years ago. If you look carefully, you'll see guys whose streets are named after, schools are named after. Okay? And this lodge, there was a San Luis Obispo Lodge, I believe it was called, and started around 1950. It lasted, thank you. That's why you got the most worshipful things like that, 1850, which it was obviously before the Civil War. It lasted, I think, about 10 years, and due to all the different things that were going on around it went away. But the Masons and Friends of Masons and devotees of Masonry didn't stop for very long. In 1870, King David's Lodge was founded, and we've been here ever since 1870. This is the 154th installation of officers of this lodge. Why do I say that? Masonry is an old organization and a venerable organization, an honorable institution. And we have lots of rules. We have big rules, and we have little rules. One of the big rules is we in Masonry do not solicit membership. Somebody's interested in joining Masonry, no one will ever ask him. No one will ever ask him. If you have an interest in Masonry, no one will ever ask him to become a Mason. Why is that? Well, it's a rule, and it's been a rule a long time. What I do want to tell you about is a few years ago, the Grand Lodge of California came out with what I think is a really, really cool little book, and it's called Opening the Door. And we have these books. They're laying around different places, and I think it's one of the most wonderful little publications I've ever seen. It talks about Masonry, gives a lot of valuable information about Masonry. So if you're someone who would like to just know more about Masonry for what it might be purely academic, might be for some other reason, but pick up one of these books because they're a wonderful little resource, and I encourage you, if you're interested in any aspect of Masonry, please take a look at it. Ask me for one. We'll make sure you get it. I don't know that I have any. Well, I have a couple of things that I want to talk about. We have some presentations. I have not yet introduced our pianist, Ms. Jeanette Langer, and we would like to show our appreciation for your presence, your abilities, your talents, and present this to you. If you would, we are very grateful. Thank you. Friends of mine, Mr. Glenn Rathbone, Mr. Bobby Pryor. I'm just going to tell you this, all right? I told this to Dee Malaise yesterday, and, you know, I want you to know you have, for good reason, a humble master. I attended law school at the University of Arkansas, and I graduated in 1983. Can you hear all that? It's just good. And now 300 people started at my law school, all right, and only 148 graduated. I was in that number, but the number that I was at started with 100. My friend Bobby over here was number 1 in our law school class in 1983. My friend Glenn Rathbone is a marvelous musician, a great teacher of music, a great scholar of music, and I'm very grateful that he's here too. So there are a lot of other people I should mention. I want to do this. I want to present flowers vicariously to the lady who's sort of been the first lady of Masonry in King David's Lodge for the last year. And these are from Adrienne Betancourt. She's not able to be here today, but I'm going to present these to her husband. And please pass along the thanks to the lodge. We'll talk in a minute.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Adrienne would love to be here. Now, Ken and I present. Thank you. And there's a lady here who, well, she's not much of a joiner. She tells a story about how when she was 5 or 6 years old, she was invited
to join Brownies. She joined Brownies. And she went to a couple of Brownie meetings. And she's saying, well, why am I doing this? And they said, well, you get a badge, they told her. And she said, that's very nice. She never joined anything else again, except the California State Bar when she passed the California Bar exam at the age of 64, before they lowered the passing score. And I'm very proud of her, and I'd like to present these to her for likeness. Sorry about that. Might hear about that one later. I have just one more presentation to make. Now they move stuff around when it is to mess with you. When Worshipful Robert Bettencourt meet me west of the altar. So this is a plaque that reads, to all whom it may concern, greetings. This is to certify that Worshipful Brother Maurice R. Bettencourt III is a distinguished and honored past master of free and accepted Masons, of having held the office of Master of King David's Lodge, number 209, on the registry of the Grand Lodge during the year AL 6024, is that what that says? Okay, 6024.
Year of life, 4,000 plus the current.
That's why he's been master so many times. You know? He just knows this stuff. And that his name is duly recorded in the Grand Lodge as such. Given under our hands and the seal of the Grand Lodge of California this 31st day of December, AD 2024, AL 6024, signed by Alan Castle, Grand Secretary of the Grand Lodge of California. Worship. Congratulations.
Thank you all very much. It was a pleasure. Thank you. That's why I did it. That and a special badge.
So no. Okay. What? Who's going to benedict? We're going to do. We're going to have the benediction right now. Ask the throne of grace for further guidance and direction, and give thanks for the glories of this day. And then we're going to. The officers we're going to have a picture, and I don't know. Maybe we'll have some kind of reception line. Maybe we won't. But if you see us out there like we're doing that, please feel free to come by and say hello. And there may be. I'm not sure about this, because there's people in this lodge who have technical skills that I don't have. There may be...
No, there is.
Pardon me? There is. For rock and rolling, there's going to be some video entertainment shown in the dining room. So don't leave right away, because if you haven't seen this video entertainment, and I'll represent to you that very few of you have, you've never seen anything quite like it. So with that, call on our chaplain to lead us in prayer.
Supreme Grand Master, ruler of heaven and earth, now that we are about to retire to our respective places of abode, please watch over all those gathered here that they may return home safely. May love, peace, and respect prevail among our families and the world. Thank you again. We ask this all in thy name. Amen.
So motivated.
And also, we have some very fine refreshments in the dining room, refreshments and beverages of a variety of kinds. And so please don't leave without enjoying some of that. I want to thank Brother Mark Rizzo and his Mrs. Rizzo for helping provide all of that. Very grateful, folks. That's just about it. I want to thank you again for your courtesies, for your kindness, for your friendship, and love of this lodge. We are all deeply grateful. Thank you.